3.
Episode 3, 4 months later.
4 months later.
So-
And the irony is, it's Fortnight in film, but it's 4 months later. So technically it is a fortnight.
Technically, there was some lost episodes in between.
Yes. Yeah.
But we're back and we're doing a summer roundup.
The thing is, one thing you have to say before we start on this: the week we're doing this. Sadly, as usual, one of the things I'm quite good at, keeping up with all the films that have come out.
As
Sadly,
opposed to me.
Yeah, opposed to you, sadly. But maybe you could be, However, the fact is that basically there's 2 films that have come out, and I haven't even seen them at all. And one of them, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and the other one's War for the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh.
Now the fact is, I really want to see War for the Planet of the Apes because I saw Rise and I saw Dawn. And I really enjoyed this film. I saw Dawn when we were recording. I saw it last night, and I really like that film. I think Andy Serkis is great and great visual effects. But I haven't seen War for the Planet of the Apes, and I haven't seen Spider-Man: Homecoming. But I think hopefully by the time the next podcast, I would have seen those 2 films. So I'm really sorry, we're not going to review those 2 movies yet because
we might be a bit late to the conversation, but we'll definitely add to it.
We'll definitely add to it. But we're going to talk about this week. You're going to do running order, or am I?
Yeah, you can do the running order.
Okay, so the running order
is in front of you.
So what we're going to do today, we are going to do some roundup because we're caught about a couple of films. Firstly, we're going to talk about Alien Covenant and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yes, they are so about
late to the conversation.
We're late to the conversation 3 months ago. 3 months ago. And however, we won't be late to the conversation because next thing we're talking about Doctor Who after that, which Kay will be talking about.
Yeah, which ended recently.
Fairly
recently.
So we won't be late to the conversation for that. And by the time we record tomorrow is when they announce the 13th Doctor. So we are in time for that.
Oh, exciting.
And also as well, we're also talking about Baby Driver, which is the Edgar Wright's new film, which I saw my brother Henry 2 weeks ago. So we're not late for that one, so we're on time for that. And then we're going to do some roundup. So I'll talk about a couple of movies that I did see, and I will give you my roundup some of those.
And then a few recommendations.
Yes, and then we'll do a few recommendations at the end.
As we always
do. So let's
start
off, and these 2, yes, we are late to conversations. Yes, these 2 movies were very much hyped, but we are going to talk about them now. And Caleb's going to lead these 2 reviews. This is the review for Alien. This is the spoiler review, because 2 months down the line. The spoiler reviews for Alien Covenant and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I think with Alien Covenant, the opening really spells out what's going to happen. Because we're expecting an Alien film, or are we expecting a Prometheus film? We don't know, but I haven't seen Prometheus, but I'm kind of glad I haven't, to be honest.
I did see Prometheus before this, so I was going into this feeling, can we get a good Alien film? And the trailers look very promising before this. And it's directed by Ridley Scott again. He's back in the Alien franchise again. But anyway,
the thing is, immediately we get this very sort of boring opening monologue.
Are you Frankenstein?
Where it's suddenly, instead of it being an Alien film, it's just Ridley Scott just mouthing off about philosophy.
One of the things,
and it's stuff that should be saved for a Blade Runner film, another film. It's not an Alien thing.
I think
but it has become one now, which is a problem.
I think to recap the plot, what we know about this film, pretty much it's Alien all over, done again, with a bit of Prometheus thrown in there. So we have Daniels, who's this played by Catherine Waterston, who is this. Who is now somebody supposed to be is Ripley? We don't know. He's supposed to be it's like they got Ripley and then Daniels. Oh, Daniels is a great right. We have Daniels. So Daniels is this scientist and she's leading this expedition. I forgot the name of the ship. The ship's called the Covenant. So that's the thing.
That's the name. I forgot that too. It's been so long.
Yes, but the ship's called the Covenant, and they go to this alien planet, and they get diverted because they find a better alien planet. Yeah. And they go onto it, and basically stuff happens. And strange enough, they find David. They find David from Prometheus, and then
Michael Fassbender
returns in a double role. So not only do we have
it's ridiculous.
Not only do we have legend thrown in here, with the Tom Hardy stuff. We now have got the weird double of something like Face Off, like the John Woo film. We've got elements of the Prometheus film again, because it does go back to Prometheus, the idea that it's about man's creation, man's created these aliens, and did they create humans and stuff. And it's and for me, my overall feeling about it, I came out and I felt, I went meh, because I came out of it and I absolutely loved the first day, and that opening scene I thought was actually okay, but I have to admit the titles was really bad. Like, white font on a white background is not how you start off a film. I want to see the titles. And the thing is, I missed out a couple of people's names because they were just in white on a white background. Yeah. And then we see Jerry Goldsmith's score appear, and I thought, this could be promising. The opening's very promising.
I do know what you mean. Even though I found the opening to be just a bit vapid and just a bit trying, if you know what I mean, it did sort of make me hyped. Like, I was excited to see what was going to happen still. Yeah. It's just that opening film, once you come out of the film, you think, that opening really did tell me what was going to happen in this film.
Because it's about Frankenstein, and it's like, it's Frankenstein can walk and all this stuff about Frankenstein. And the thing what really kind of... And so we have all that open with Michael Fassbender. It sets up the idea about David. It sets up the android, and it brings back the same thing from Prometheus, that the very big philosophical idea of who were humans creators, which are the engineers from the first film.
The thing for me, I think, is that with these two films, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, I've only seen the first two Alien films before this. Yeah. So I was sort of still in that bubble of, it's just a good sci-fi horror film.
But the thing is,
at what point did anybody ask? Nobody said, how did the xenomorphs come to be? Nobody asked that question. True. Nobody asked any of the philosophical questions that are being answered in this film. Yes. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why Ridley Scott thinks that he needs to make these films to explain anything, because nobody cares.
Yes, however, I think let's get into the good stuff and the bad stuff. Yeah. Let's first for the good stuff. For me, it's a Ridley Scott film, and DP Darius Volsky's back in it, and you're going to get good cinematography. And there are some beautiful cinematography.
The horror moments are brilliant.
There's some really great horror moments as well, and there are some really good intense scenes. I think maybe the last act is a bit Aliens all over again, but it's still a very good. It's very decent, really nice, and I do find it likely. Also, I think Catherine Waterston, she's good. I think she's decent enough as a role. I wouldn't have put her on there, and I think, because she's in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them beforehand, I think she's showing us a good range. I think she's shown that she can take a big franchise and pretty much continue on with that. And we are going to see more of her, I think, in the next Alien film, which I have no idea what they're going to do in the next one, to be honest, after this one. And there are some other good stuff. I think also the creature design, the visual effects are stunning again. It's Ridley Scott is a bit like The Martian. He's back on home territory again. But there are some problems with the film. And for me, the main problem with this film, and I think I'm going to agree with this, it's really predictable, isn't it?
Yeah.
The problem is, for me, there's a moment halfway through the film when there's this, the scene where the ship comes through and the black goo comes down. And for me, I just go, no. No, that is, and I thought that's just really bad tying up.
For me, I think it's with Michael Fassbender's character. They're meant to sort of play him up as a mysterious character, but they reveal to the audience like half an hour in that he's not the person you think he is. But the rest of the characters don't know that. So it's like trying to make a mystery that the audience already knows the answer to. So yeah, it is really predictable.
I think it's a very predictable film, and I think the point as well, also at the end of the film where we get to that last action sequence, and for me as well, the twist. Well, I could see the twist ending coming about even about half an hour later. Because when the twist came, I kind of thought, I was right. I was right. I kind of thought, what a surprise, isn't that? It's very unsurprising. And the other thing I thought was also not as well very good about it, I thought some of it was very boring. I thought the stuff, the Prometheus, when we see David walking around, and it's just a bit, it's not that interesting. And
the problem is the pacing, because we have these brilliant action scenes, these brilliant horror scenes, and then suddenly we've got to watch Michael Fassbender kiss himself or play recorder to it. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm not really sure the point of all of these sort of interspersed scenes.
Yeah, I think as well the fact as well is that there are some good horror moments, and also I feel like I've seen all this before. I've seen them scavenging on the planet. I've seen them chatting about all these weird usual topics because they're space truckers. I've seen them talk about all these things. Why am I watching it again? And the script is really terrible. I think John Logan and Dante Harbour, bless them. I mean, they tried hard for the script, but it's just very poorly done because it tries to tie it loose from Prometheus in a very poor way. Halfway through the plot, again, it's very predictable, and also is that it just falls a bit wavery, and it is Ridley Scott. And what I can't say about Ridley Scott, he does all these films. He does a Gladiator, he does a Prometheus, he does a Blade Runner, he does he does an Alien, he does Blade Runner, and they're really great films because it's about a big idea and he runs through it. However, there are films like Robin Hood, there are films like American Gangster, there's Body of Lies, where it's just he gets so full of himself and he just plucks in 2 hours running time, and it's just not interesting, and it's just a lot of people walking around talking about big, rhetorical questions and saying, oh great, well, who's Robin Hood? What's this? Is the aliens this? Is it our makers?
The thing is that the execution in which you ask those questions, it shouldn't be through character conversation where they literally ask the question. It should be through the themes and the actions of the characters.
I still
think we don't need to talk. It's like it's a regression because if you look at something like The Matrix, we had a lot of philosophy injected into that film, and at the time that was very progressive and very good. But now that's a very old thing. Like you can move on from that and make it, like the philosophy can just be there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And also, I think the last thing we saw before we moved to Guardians of the Galaxy is that for me, the thing with Prometheus, this is a vast improvement from Prometheus. I think this is way better. So I think it is. But I think we are light years away from Alien. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as Alien. Because when I saw Alien for the first time, I saw it about 4 months ago before I saw this film. I saw Alien and I thought, wow, that was really scary. What a great sci-fi film. And I thought it was just really good horror cinema. And I saw Alien Covenant and I thought, this is just the same classic blockbuster movie where the horror elements have disappeared and now we've just got people running around to the same annoying music of kettle drums, somebody banging kettle drums again, and with strings going and it's just very old school. It's not the best film. It's not the best film in the franchise, but I still think it's a vast improvement from Prometheus.
I've got some notes that I wrote sort of straight after I watched it. And at first I came out of the cinema and I thought it was quite good. And then slowly I came to realise that actually, no, it wasn't very good. It's like the antidote for Moonlight. Yeah. It's like Moonlight, it grows on me. In this film, it's just died in me. Yeah, it withers away. So this is what I've said. Ridley Scott delivers a slew of intense action and horror scenes interspersed with vapid synthetic existentialism.
Whoa, that is
the pacing is all over the place, with 2 minutes of build-up interrupted by Michael Fassbender kissing himself before moving on to a brutal alien attack. The main characters are fairly likeable, although most of the crew are relatively faceless and expendable.
Whoa.
It's hard to care about so many people at once if they have about one line of dialogue before they are brutally ripped to shreds. Alien Covenant is a good sci-fi action film, but it misses the mark in the horror department. Every action scene is exciting and genuinely enjoyable and just a little bit terrifying.
Yes,
if only I really had the capacity to care about the origin of the facehuggers or any continuation of the plot from Prometheus or Ridley Scott's blatant philosophical blatherings on autonomous beings or their makers.
Yes, that is...
I definitely had fun watching the film and loved the intense horror scenes that took place. I just wish I could cut the fat in between.
Yes, I think also people say it does pay a lot to Alien. I don't think people say it copies a lot from Alien. There are scenes where it clearly tries to copy from Alien, from the first one, like you see the first time where the facehugger goes on. But I also think it's just a very strange film. It's one I just feel like if we're gonna have the third one, please can we not start to ruin what was great about the first Alien film, which was that it was a movie where not many people knew about it, and we did about the spaceship. And I do admit, I don't think we should know a lot about the xenomorphs, so it's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really if you want to know my
ratings.
Right, I gave it 2.5 stars. Like I said, it's meh. It's okay.
For me, I think it's a 2. It's very. At this point, I've completely forgotten it. To be honest, those notes were probably more complimentary than I'd think about it now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I reckon a 2 for me.
Yeah. So now up next, we talk about Alien Covenant. This is the next one. This was the one that I think this was the move I think everyone was really excited for when we saw the blockbuster calendar appear, and this is the one definitely. Also, I was really looking forward to as well. This is, and we are going to talk about this now. Yeah, again, another spoiler review again. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You want to start?
I'll start. Yes. So yeah, we were all really excited about it. And when I first saw it, I really did enjoy it actually, and I thought it built on the first film very well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think the characters were definitely a lot more fleshed out, which I enjoyed a lot, especially with Nebula, Karen Gillan's character. And I think, it was just really nice to see the characters grow. Yeah. And it was really nice to get sort of more of the same. But as we were saying before, I think the first film feels like a complete package. Yeah. This second one, because it has so many strings, so many plot lines, so many characters, it is sort of just a bit messy. Yeah. And I think and it definitely does take sort of a left turn towards the end, I think that makes it.
For me, for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think quickly with the plot stuff, everyone knows the story now, Chris Pratt, and it's basically the continued adventures with a bit of daddy stuff thrown in there, stuff through. Not daddy's daycare, but it's a bit of where basically Peter Quill meets his dad. What's very weird, Peter Quill meets dad really early on in the film, and all these things well. Did you? And I have to admit, there were moments where I saw the trailer and I thought this is very exciting, and the soundtrack is very good. I mean, yet again, the sound I think I was very looking forward to the mixtape. It's a very perfect soundtrack, really great. I think the song choice is a bit better this time around. They're not very much,
it's a bit more 60s.
Bit more 60s, but also I think stuff like Mr. Blue Sky was put in. The opening with Mr. Blue Sky is excellent. Really great. I think it relaxes the mood. It settles everyone into the film. And when you see Baby Groot running around, it's really enjoyable and it's very funny to watch.
I think that's what I enjoyed about it, because the opening, I thought, oh no, has it gone all serious? And then suddenly Mr. Blue Sky comes in, and then it's the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and it comes on. It's really good fun. And I think there are some really. I also think as well the jokes are very good as well. James Gunn knows his stuff. Obviously, he's done it again. He knows these characters well, which I think helps actually the film overall. And I do like some of the action scenes were really good fun as well. So I've also thought Kurt Russell was quite good in this one. I thought he was very enjoyable. However, the problem with me this film, and it's not as predictable, but I could see the twist coming even from the trailers. And the trailers didn't give away the twist, but when you see the lineup of it, and when you see the dad, I knew immediately, and when you see the planet and the world, I knew immediately, I said, the dad's the villain. The dad is the I thought, I was like, come on.
I suppose it's because there is no other obvious villain throughout the film. And I mean, they have that... I can't even remember the name
Ravengers,
of it.
The Ravengers. Sylvester Stallone just turns up halfway through.
Yeah,
and he just goes off again.
And they've also got that sort of gold planet. I can't remember the name of it.
I also thought it was just a bit when the stuff comes in, and also I thought there was a moment where the jokes kind of stopped working, but I also feel very enjoyable because the jokes disappeared. You still enjoyed the film a lot more. It wasn't like the jokes just because they were there. The jokes need to be there to make it funny. There was a good David Hasselhoff joke thrown in there, which I thought was very well timed, and that was very, very funny. And I think as well the Kurt Russell villain, it was just a bit meh, and I still had a lot of fun with it. I did come out because I had a long week after with all my exams and with my coursework and stuff, and I finished all my coursework. I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was kind of like a bubble bath for me walking out of that film, because I felt like it was just really nice to sit in there and enjoy.
For me, I did enjoy the twist. I think it is, even if you can see it coming, I think the motivation of the bad guy, of the dad,
works.
It works, and also it's like themes that aren't really touched on. Yeah. Especially in the Marvel universe, we don't usually get motivations from these characters in such sort of detail, which I like. I like that.
It was one of those things where you kind of we can build a world together. But I think the one thing I found very weird was the way how it worked. Because I mean, why did we have blue Play-Doh as goo absorbing an Earth? I thought, it would be like some sort of great terraforming, but no. Instead, we get big blue Play-Doh, and it's just like this. And it looks, and you're supposed to go, oh, it's really terrifying. You just go, you just look, you just go, and it's just like a 9-year-old just went, oh, splatter.
I did like the inclusion of Earth because it made it, as opposed to the first film, you do feel like it's more connected in a way.
Yeah.
Like what happens in the galaxy also affects Earth. I know we had them defending Earth in the first film, but
was it? I think it was Xander. It was Xander.
Oh, it was Xander. Okay, it's just me being ignorant there. Yeah. But I like that they included Earth because eventually when we get that crossover, which is coming soonish, it will make more sense. It'll be more connected. Yeah,
I think it is also. I think Chris Pratt knows where he is in this film. And for me, the thing I really enjoyed the most out of it, I thought the scenes of Rocket actually this time around. I thought the first film wasn't that annoying, but I think for me the best in the film was actually Rocket this time.
Rocket and Sean Gunn as well.
Yeah, I think Sean Gunn and Rocket they were really enjoyable.
For me, Chris Pratt kind of. He feels like he takes a bit of a backseat, if I'm honest. I know, because I don't remember his story. Well, obviously I remember his storyline, but not as much as
the other
Rocket Raccoon and Sean Gunn. They definitely took precedence for me.
And I think the comedy there really works really well that time. I think that was also great as well. And I also feel, I thought the end was so hilarious when you suddenly hear the chain and he starts building up the power, and when the bass drop comes in, and it's like bang, and I literally just burst out laughing. I was like,
it's the best use of a song. I was listening to that for weeks after.
I feel and it kind of I think that's nice as well. They used the chain, the Fleetwood Mac song, because I like the fact how this time the music. We'll go into Baby Driver later on, but with the music this time, it felt like it was very much in the film choice. When you see the chain, when they break up, and you hear those words as Stevie Nicks sings them in the background. They work with the film very well because you will never break the chain, but the chain is broken actually now because the group has now been separated for the first time. It's nice to see that in the film. Yeah,
it almost seems more the soundtrack seems more thoughtful than before. And it's also good to have Yusuf Cat Stevens at the end with father and son.
Yeah, that's a nice one as well. Yeah. I think, but for me, the overall problem with the film, and I did find this I found this very weird actually. My main problem with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is not that it's the twist ending, is that I immediately forgot about it the next day. And that may be because Marvel now really grinding out these films. And although we talked about in the first podcast, we talked about personal style. But this film felt, I think, because I kind of realised actually this film's really familiar to the first one. It really took into my mind, and I went, actually, and I felt like really, I really enjoyed it, and I had this weird battle in my mind. Like, it's really good fun, but why did I forget about it? Why did I just completely forgot about it?
Yeah. I'm kind of finding the same thing. The more I'm trying to talk about it, the more I realise I don't actually remember quite
I think that is a problem with Marvel, because with Marvel gets on with MCU, we are going to see more, and this is one of the reasons why I
think it's partly the sort of monotony of Marvel films that come out, because all of them are actually
very well made.
They're all well made, and they're all decent films. They're a lot of fun to go and watch. But then after a while, no matter how unique that take on the Marvel Universe is, it is just the Marvel Universe that you're watching.
Yeah, so pretty much I do think overall that was a big problem with the film. So that was overall my verdict. I will give it 3.3 out of 5. I know it's very very specific, but I think it's not a 4 stars. It's not 3.5. It's 3.3 because.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Actually, when I went into this review, I thought 4, but I think maybe. Oh, I'm gonna do a horrible decimal. I'm gonna do 3.8 or something. 3.8. Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. So close to 4, but not quite there.
Yeah. So that's the review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's the review for those two blockbuster movies that we all forgot about. But
yeah, late to the
table. So this is the next one that Caleb's leading as well. So Caleb's leading now 3 reviews.
Oh, very nice.
This is the first actually for once. But the second half will be pretty much me overall. But this is the review for Series 10 of Doctor Who.
Theo doesn't look pleased.
Oh, God. Oh.
So, okay, I haven't made any notes on this, unfortunately. So I'm going to sort of, come up with it on the spot, basically.
What have you going into this series?
So, when Peter Capaldi came in Series 8, I really loved that series because it felt quite throughout it felt quite self-contained.
Same, yeah, definitely.
There were just strong episodes after strong episodes,
and they were all there was no two-parters. There was stuff like I thought
no two-part. Yeah, they had a policy of not doing two-parters for that. I found out, which is good because it meant that all of the plots were resolved and it was very nice. And then we got series 9, which had some brilliant episodes, but it was very hefty. It was like eating a massive piece of bread or something trying to watch it.
Or like a big slice of some spaceship cake or something.
Yeah, I mean it was a real. So sometimes it could feel like a real slog because we got these two-parters that we didn't care about.
Oh my god, the first two would not.
I enjoyed them. I enjoyed those two. And for me, it was with.
Maisie Williams.
With Maisie Williams, her two-parter was pretty awful.
And then the Zygote stuff was good. And Sleep No More, won't talk about the one. And then the last two, Heaven Sent, which I
Heaven Sent was brilliant.
Was brilliant, and Hellbent was not.
Hellbent was good, but it just didn't deliver in the same way.
But I think Heaven Sent was the one. I think everyone kind of realised now this was David Tennant. We're now back in that Blink realm where it's different. But now we move on to Series 10.
Series 10.
It's been nearly 2 years since the last Series 9 since 2015, and we had the Doctor.
A long wait.
And going into this, we had the return of Doctor Mysterio, which was one of the oddest Christmas specials.
It wasn't very good, to be honest. It didn't really show off Nardole like it did. I thought Nardole was a brilliant character in the series, but I just don't think he was good in this one. And I don't think the Doctor was good in this one.
Yes, definitely.
And the plot wasn't good.
And I thought the villains were really poor. And also I thought it was just somebody Justin who is it? Justin Fatwin Chatwin. Justin Chatwin.
Justin Fatwin.
Justin Fatwin. Justin Fatwin. Justin Chatwin was doing a Christian Bale, trying so hard to do I am Doctor Mysterio. I am really cool.
The problem with it is when I heard it was a superhero, I thought, okay, this is a Christmas special. They're never very serious.
They're very good.
It's fine. I don't mind. But then, so when I was happy to have a superhero involved, but it was just the plot line. It was just boring. It was a love story, and it wasn't good. But let's move on from that because so now, I don't really.
We've got a new companion this time around.
I know. So what? Yeah. So with Series 10, it felt like Series 8, but it had that strength in the characters that really carried it through.
Yeah.
And because all these episodes mostly were self-contained, it did make for, I thought, which was a really nice sort of light-hearted series. And what I liked about it was Stephen Moffat wasn't trying to do anything too big.
He did try to.
He did, midway, but we'll get on to that. So we start with the pilot, and we basically get really nice introduction to Bill.
I thought it was an okay episode.
I really liked the premise. I liked the idea that they had to stay on Earth.
It's very classic Doctor Who. You've seen the previous
university lecturer.
Yeah.
It was very much harking back to very early days, Series 1 with...
or maybe Series 2, was it School Reunion with David Tennant.
But we can go all the way back to even the first Doctor, where we have that sort of caretaker kind of relationship, and it's really good. So yeah, I really like that. It felt quite light. There wasn't anything huge at stake, but it was very nice, and it showed off the world as well. And it did a good job of building the world for any. It definitely felt like it was welcoming newcomers in as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of also liked the fact that there was some very nice. I thought the villain was actually okay, and I thought it was very interesting actually to see that. The villain. It was very classic a first Doctor episode, because I've now seen Doctor Who now 10 years, I've seen pretty much most of it, and because I grew up with David Tennant, like all of us, we all grew up with David Tennant, and then we had Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi in this. But the thing is that it's a classic one where we get a very strange villain, a very strange monster, and it's not fleshed out. It's just one of those people says, what's the first episode? Think of a monster. Okay, run with that idea, and it's a very nice idea.
It's a good introduction to Doctor Who.
I think the end was a bit. The Dalek was a bit. Are we trying?
I like that. I like the ending. I thought overall it was just a nice, well-rounded episode. Nothing to write home about per se, but it was a good episode.
The only thing I had to admit, and I do admit, I did have a problem with Bill from the opening. I just thought she was very shallow, and that's not me saying, that's me being very harsh, because because we've had we had Martha Jones, which is my favourite Doctor companion, and we had some really great companions in the past. So Bill had a lot to live up to, but I don't think she finds it. And I think it's harsh because if she's not going to be the next companion, it will be slightly weird that she goes afterwards. I think she does tap into... I think she's kind of like a very ordinary person where it's like, oh yeah, I saw chips, man, innit? And she does have some very good lines. I do think when she enters the TARDIS for the first time, she does go a bit, it's a big spaceship in it, man. It's like, no, thank you.
For me, I think Bill is actually one of my favourite companions.
Really?
In a while. She definitely is.
Yeah, in a while.
Very, very different to
Clara.
Clara.
Oh.
And I think if you watch more of the series, Theo, I think you will definitely, by the end, you'll love Bill, because I think I like the fact that she asks those questions, and that's nice, but then also she is a brilliant actor.
Yeah,
as we go on through the series, we see a lot of range in her acting, but we'll get on to that.
The interesting thing is actually, we did see Pearl Mackie, actually, ironically, because she was in the Curious Incident document.
Oh yes, she was.
She was the lady on the train part.
Yeah.
So it's very weird why I go. So they get an extra. So somebody who's just in about a couple minutes, and they put it on too. It's really weird. It is that they cast.
I like
it
that
is
though,
very
because
good casting.
it's sort of that Star Wars technique of getting sort of unknowns.
So now
involved.
we move on to Smile.
Smile. We have Frank Cottrell Boyce back from one of the worst episodes of Series 8.
Forest of the Night.
Which was... I don't even remember what was going on.
It was a battle forest.
London became a forest. It couldn't catch fire. It was not good.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, I'm just going to say, on the opening for this, I thought, this is going to be a good episode.
Yeah.
And I think it does deliver. I like that sort of... It's very dark. The emoji bots, when I saw the... sort of next time for it, I thought, no.
It's Stephen Moffat.
But then when I watch it, and we have... I don't remember the name of the actor, but she plays a sort of cameo role, and she was actually in Sarah Jane Adventures previously. Which is interesting.
Mean and something like that. Is she Rani's
she was
mum?
Rani's mum.
Yes,
yes,
exactly. Yes.
Which I thought was quite nice. But she's sort of telling somebody to smile, and then they don't, and then they sort of get eaten by. And
then she gets eaten as well. Yeah. I think, as well.
So it's quite a dark opening, and it's really nice, and I like that.
It's very.
And then as the Doctor and Bill sort of, it's one of those. It's definitely, the series feels quite formulaic in that they've done the planet episode second. They always do a planet episode second.
Yeah, definitely.
But they sort of, it's one of those episodes where the storyline kind of unravels as it goes on. It's a mystery, and it's very nice, but it does sort of drag on just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they could have revealed things just a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
They could have introduced the rest of the crew just a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So
I think it is a good one. I do like the ending of this one as well. I thought it was okay again. I
liked the resolution in it.
Yeah,
as well.
I thought the resolution
I liked that.
Was good.
It was kind of a peaceful resolution, and that's nice. But I think as the series goes on, we do get a lot of peaceful resolutions, and that's one thing that I'm not sure about. And
then we move on to Finn. Now, this for me was the worst one in the series.
Oh, really?
This for me was... It felt very... For me, Finn Ice... I thought... When I saw the premise, I thought, oh, Victoria London, this is going to be quite... You saw an elephant, and you see the next time show, you think, oh, this could be quite an interesting one, because they always present, this very classic Doctor Who, where... You do an Earth episode, and then you do a planet episode, and then you do the history episode. Yeah. So it's very similar to all those Doctor Who series, and it's a classic Steve Moffat one. But for me, what I thought was very annoying was it just felt like Beast Below. It felt like they just did the Beast Below again.
I do understand that, because I watched it and then I texted you afterwards. I thought, oh, this is really good. Are you enjoying this series? And you said, well, wasn't that just the Beast Below? And I thought, yeah, I suppose it was. And then.
Did I say that text?
Yes, you did.
My
you
God,
did.
wow.
You don't remember, but you did.
Okay.
But the thing is, with the Beast Below is...
I did like that one.
That is a brilliant episode because it has so much depth. There's so many concepts going on at once, and it doesn't feel too packed. Whereas this one, just takes the creature under the ice.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked about it was it kind of introduced the Doctor's morality, because I think he does take some quite sort of dark actions in this.
Yeah.
I think he sort of does inadvertently kill somebody at some point.
Okay, that was a very interesting one.
But I thought the thing I liked about it was it took a simple concept, but what it was doing was it was introducing how the Doctor is remorseful, but then sometimes he does do things that the companions won't agree with, and sometimes the companions are right and sometimes he's wrong.
I did agree with that.
And so that's nice. And it's interestingly something that the Beast Below did as well.
Yeah, and it was very interesting. I thought as well the ending was very good, nice big wave of bang and crash. But the next one, Knock Knock, I really like this one.
One last thing about Thin Ice.
Sorry.
I think
continue.
With this series, Stephen Moffat is definitely sort of looking back on all of his series and bringing back ideas, and that's not, for me, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's getting sort of the best of. So we have the best of, and we have the Beast Below in that episode.
Now, Knock Knock, which I really like, because first it's written by Mike Bartlett. I'm a huge fan of Mike Bartlett. I really liked what he did with Dr. Foster, which I thought was great. But in this one, it's a great classic haunted house one where it's about, 5 people in there, Bill's in there, there's a weird monster in there, what's going to happen? And it's a really exciting one as well.
Good haunted house
one. I did have a problem with the ending. I thought the ending was it was Dr. Swidden in the wardrobe at the ending, and it had that very classic, and the monsters are very nice in the end, and everyone's a bit.
Yeah. But we notice that pattern of the resolutions being quite peaceful, and I don't think they always have to be.
But the thing is, the ending was. But I thought David David and Suchet was really creepy, fantastic, really creepy. I think I know he did Poirot. We're getting.
He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah, he's a really fine actor. I really like him a lot. And the thing is with this one, he is the creepy caretaker. It's a good teenage one. I did fit some of the stuff where where Doctor goes, "Oh, I like Black Magic by Little Mix," but like, no, okay, let's start moving on.
I like that though. They've gone for that angle with Peter Capaldi where he is definitely just an old man.
But yeah, I do like that, but cool. I think they could have picked a better song. That's me being so stupidly picky about my music and stuff. And then we have Oxygen, which is.
I thought it was a brilliant episode.
I thought this was okay.
Some people don't.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
It's good.
I think it's good. It's a good idea. It's an idea about Oxygen. I did like the idea of it as well. I did fit stuff with the Doctor being blind. That was a bit okay. Now you're starting to get a bit.
The problem for me was the episode was brilliant, and I thought it was great tension. It had a great message.
Reminds me of was it The Impossible Planet? That one. It's a very spacey one because it is this classic. Then we had the Haunted House one. Now we're gonna have the moon one.
The spaceship one.
Yeah. The spaceship one.
But for me, I think it was just that ending that really it felt like almost like something out of like a cartoon or an anime or something where he like takes off his glasses and he says, "I'm blind and I'll never see again," and then the camera like zooms in on him.
Oh yeah, that is.
And it's just like you can't help but laugh because it's ridiculous.
It's like ooh, and then
they definitely added that in at the end.
And then the next 3. Well, I think the next 3 we'll do these in a 3. Yeah. These for me were some of Stephen Moffat's.
Just in case you don't know, that's Extremis, the Pyramid at the End of the World, and the Lie of the Land. Or you call it
the Monk Trilogy. This for me.
So we had Stephen Moffat, Peter Harness, and Stephen Moffat, and then Toby Whithouse.
Yes, but for me, this was Stephen Moffat's chance, yet again, very annoyingly, to do one of those complex ones that he always does every season. He always got to go. Season 5, it was The Crack. That was a good one. Series 6 was just no.
We disagree on this because I thought it was brilliant.
I do admit stuff like the man who goes to war. And then the stuff with Melody, and then River Song, and then Melody, and then River doing
it was very
River kissing the Doctor, and then River, it's doing, what's going? And then it's just very weird. And then it's one of those charts where he has to do a very big, complex plot, and it's got all these ideas where he does where the cliffhangers are all really quite cheesy, big cliffhangers, like the Doctor's blind. Hang on a second, I'm not blind again. Ooh, and something. It's a simulation. Ooh, extreme. And I think this was the low point in the series. I think we can both agree with this.
For me, Extremis, I enjoyed it. I thought, okay, let's run with this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Although for me, the thing was with the blindness. It was definitely just shoehorned in from the last episode, and they carried it on, and it just. At any point, it didn't feel like it was important until maybe at the end of Pyramid at the End of the World. For me, Extremist was nice. I like the simulation idea. It could work on its own as a good episode.
I think Pyramid at the End of the World was one of those ones. I think the next one
was weak.
It was really weak. It was one of those ones where it's the Chinese. It's the and it's got and
it's a lot of talking.
It's a big idea.
It's a lot of talking as well.
It's a good. What I like is a good big idea. Yeah. But in classic Doctor Who fashion, it just goes. It's all like somebody. When someone skims a stone and the water just ripples along. And it doesn't fall in.
It's got a sort of army theme to it, which is not a surprise because Peter Harness was writing who did Zygon Invasion last series.
And it was also very politically based.
Yeah, very politically.
We're all going to work together.
But it just didn't really deliver, and it just dragged on. Because there were so many moments where they were just sitting talking, and you thought, why do they need to have these conversations at all?
You must not consent.
And then obviously, Bill makes a sacrifice at the end,
which is quite
which they come to regret.
And Live Land, actually, I'm half rewatched one because I haven't seen all the series.
This is Toby Whithouse.
This is Toby Whithouse. I think Toby Whithouse is a great director. I liked the great writer. I liked the last series where he did what's the one he did? Oh God, I forgot about.
He did Before the Flood.
Yeah, Before the Flood, and was it? It was Under the Lake and Before the Flood, which I thought that
was the best two-parter for me. I think
that was great. That was a really good
episode.
solid. Yeah, and for me, Lion Land very much it was one of the ones where it says, okay, now we're going to do 1984, and immediately when you see it's a dystopian world, we're looking at 1984.
For me, it's very it's an episode only Toby Whithouse could have wrote, but then how they resolve it becomes very sort of predictable.
Yeah,
it's sort of like love conquers the enemies, and it's kind of. It's just a bit. We've had so many peaceful endings in this series. Not that I'm saying I want the Doctor to come out with a machine gun, but it's just, I don't know. It just seems like they could have been a bit more clever with how they resolved this, and because it was 3 episodes to wait for this resolution. It's just a bit disappointing.
It's a lot of fact.
Yeah.
And then now Kev's going to take over now because I didn't receive all one. So
yeah, you gave up after that.
I gave up because this was a series where I did finally give up. I kind of thought, I was like. I kind of felt, this. I've really kind of thought I've had enough of Stephen Moffat's writing now. As much as I love Blink, as much as I love all this old stuff, and much as I like season 5, season 6, and season 6 and 9, and then we had to wait for 2 years for this one. I was like, oh, you know what? And at the same time, I was rewatching Doctor episodes and I realised just how much I actually love those previous Doctor episodes, the Rusty Davis stuff. I kind of realised, I've seen Moffat. Please just go away because Chris Chibnall's coming on next, and he did Broadchurch, and he's coming on. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm interested to see.
But anyway, Empress
of Mars, for me, it's not Stephen Moffat that I dislike the most. It's actually Mark Gatiss. I find that. Yeah, we disagree on that because I find that recently. I think Mark Gatiss is a brilliant writer. I mean, he's in The League of Gentlemen. He's a good comedy writer, but I think for me, I like him, but. He just writes the most stinkers, like
Sleep No More.
Yeah, Sleep No More was just an awful excuse for and it was the only singular episode we got. So we had all these 2-parters, and then we get Sleep No More.
The problem with Sleep No More was the idea was great. It was like, it's going to be surveillance cameras, and then when he says it's the dust, you go, no,
sleepy dust.
It's sleepy dust. You just, it's like you want to go hand in and just go. No.
And also, it went on for so long as well.
Yeah, it did go on for some.
But for me, I was really surprised because Mark Gatiss wrote a really nice episode, and I'm not going to say I'm not saying it's the best of the series. I'm not saying it's like really really good. I'm just saying it's a decent, good episode. You sit down, you relax, and you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a classic Doctor Who.
And so basically, it follows.
The Readers of the Night.
They find.
Oh, sorry.
They find sort of colonial. Englishmen, I think it's sort of Victorian times.
What's
classic Mark Gatiss going back to the Victorian times.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And they find them on Mars, so they go and see what they're doing on Mars.
And it's the Ice Warriors.
Obviously, the Ice Warriors are there as well, but this time the Ice Warriors aren't actually evil. They're sort of helping. They're
I'm gonna hate this episode.
Servants to the colonialists.
Yeah. Why is everyone so peaceful in this series?
The thing with this is. It kind of harks back to, I don't know if you even remember it, but it was an early Matt Smith episode with the Daleks, and the Daleks are serving...
Victory of the Daleks.
Serving Winston Churchill.
I remember that one.
And that one Doctor's trying to convince them that they're actually evil, and he's doing the same thing in this one. And it's a nice episode. I think it drags on for a while, because to begin with, they have kind of... It's sort of a criticism of colonial England, which is good, and it's nice. It's sort of a nice criticism on that. And then it kind of becomes... They kind of awaken the other Ice Warriors, and it kind of becomes a battle. And it's kind of one of those episodes where the Doctor is sort of angry. You know, one of those episodes where I think it happened in Beast Below. We have sort of the angry Doctor, basically. But it's one of those episodes where Bill actually sort of brings the kind of end to it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
But for me, it's a nice episode. It feels quite classic. I remember seeing a lot of people, although I haven't seen a lot of the classic series, a lot of people saying it reminds them of a classic episode. And I think it's nice in that way. I think you can relax and unwind in front of it. So it's a decent episode, nice sort of mid-series. And it's good, it's refreshing after that slog as well.
Yeah.
And then we have The Eaters of Light.
Which is a really weird title.
It's a weird title actually.
It sounds like something out of...
Which is an interesting episode. It was kind of hyped because it's like an attempt to resolve the 9th Legion, which was a Roman army that disappeared sort of out of the blue in Britain, and I think it's Britain. It's Scotland, in fact. Well, sorry, I'm very well researched on this, but so they travel to see what's happened basically, and it's the long story short is that they have this beast that's attacking them, and there's these two warring camps. There's the people the Scottish people who have lived there all along. I'm not sure. The Pict tribe, that's it, who've lived there all along, and then the Romans who've come and sort of pillaged them and taken over. But they've kind of taken over, but then the Romans are kind of in hiding. So the Pict tribe are strong again, and the Roman tribe are hiding from this monster who's sort of kind of ravaging both groups. And it's another peaceful ending where they realise that the Pict tribe and the 9th Legion need to work together to keep the beast at bay. And actually, if there weren't so many of these resolutions, it is a really nice resolution. And I have nothing against all these peaceful resolutions. But I'm very much for peaceful resolutions when they come, but it's just because there are so many. I prefer like a dark ending. I prefer an ending where the Doctor's being clever, not an ending where they just sort of have to work together.
Let's just consolidate.
So yeah, at the end of that one, it's a nice episode. It's alright.
And then we get
this very nice ending, and it's really good. It's some of Stephen Moffat's best work since Heaven Sent. He's come back with those very nice finales. And Rachel Talalay is a brilliant director. It's somebody who I've kind of picked up on. She's the only director in the Doctor Who kind of like series that I've kind of thought, oh, that's a director.
Yeah, I do give that as well. She's someone like, she did Heaven Sent, and she knows those characters well. She knows the character, and so I think.
But I'm not gonna, because there is quite a lot to spoil in these episodes, and I want Theo to watch it. And it came out recently. I don't want to spoil.
I know the twist at the end of the 12th episode, and I do know how this is. So I do know some of the big plots.
You know some bits.
Yeah.
But
I do admit, the episode when I saw episode 11, I think we can all reveal when the Master appears in it.
Yeah, that's not a twist that
when I saw the clip of it, I immediately just went. I immediately laughed because I just thought it's such a really cheesy. It's one of those classic.
For me,
it's a good family one. It's like, oh, who's the mask?
No, I do like it's a bit Scooby Doo, but it's good. For me, World Enough in Time is a really good horror episode, and it's the introduction of the Mondasian Cybermen, which actually Peter Capaldi has always said he wanted, which is sort of the classic Cybermen.
Yeah, they're
which for me personally, I find them a lot more scary than those sort of, full metal.
Oh, was it John Lumen? John Lumen.
Which we've seen a lot before, but in this episode, I'm not going to reveal a lot, but I think it's really nice set on a ship. It's got some really good concepts that play with time.
Dilation. Yeah.
It's got some brilliant sort of creepy. It's really, really scary actually. It really had me on the edge of my seat watching it, and it's got some good sort of body horror, but I'm not going to reveal a lot of it.
And we do have the ending where we reveal.
And it's good, and the ending honestly is a brilliant reveal. And even though we know the Master is going to pop up at some point, I didn't see it coming until about maybe just 5 minutes before, so it's good.
Yeah.
And then we have the Doctor Falls, which actually delivers for me on the good finale. Actually, I think I'm kind of in the minority that I do think Stephen Moffat finales are good. For me, Series 9 wasn't so good. But
Heaven Sent was brilliant.
Heaven Sent.
The episode 12 did try to resolve some stuff. I actually kind of liked Heaven Sent. No, Hellbent, because it had a nice and it had a nice way of wrapping all things up.
It didn't leave any loose ends.
It didn't leave any loose ends. I did like the fact when the Doctor when the screwdriver came out of the thing. I literally I was like, yes.
For me and my brother always say that Stephen Moffat, he always goes for those emotional endings. He doesn't go for he doesn't go for all of the Doctor's mates piloting the TARDIS, dragging the Earth back into place.
But come on, that's a great episode.
It's a brilliant episode, but Rusty Davies does have that tendency to go like really big. He's got to go the biggest he's possibly got to go. It's both his downfall and it's his strength, and that's a conversation for another time.
Yes.
But for Stephen Moffat,
he is emotional.
We've always seen those really nice emotional endings. I loved Matt Smith's final speech. I love that episode. Even if some people were disappointed by the fact that because everyone, it's going to be all the aliens all in one place, but it turned out to be quite a nice sort of relaxing episode.
I do admit when Matt Smith left, it didn't. I don't think it had the emotional tendency for something like when David Tennant left. I mean, David Tennant left. That was really oh my god. That was like that was emotional. But when Matt Smith left, I did like the line which says, I always remember when the Doctor was me, and when you see when Amy Pond turns up, no, I can't. But when I did like, I did like it. I mean,
it was that ending consistently makes me tear up a bit.
It is a very emotional. It's a nice speech from him, and it's a nice way to end the series. But when Steve Moffat does do well, I think he does do very good emotional endings. I did the Wedding River Song. No, was it the Big Bang? No,
I like the Big Bang.
And then the name of the Doctor was okay. That was an okay ending name for the Doctor. But when the David Doctor came, that was the nice resolution for David Doctor. I think that for me is David. Because David, I am an absolute sucker for David Tennant when he does everything. But the thing is, that was the nice one as well. But then he did Time Doctor was great. And then he did, what was his Series 8? It was it was the Cybermen, which I thought was actually, which I really enjoyed.
It was good. I like the introduction of Missy. I feel like the ending was just a bit. Dr. I don't really care that much about Pink. Anyway, so the Doctor Falls, I'm not going to reveal a lot because there is a bigger twist at the end of this.
And when I saw the twist, it is a very classic Stephen Moffat where you go, he's really put himself in such a deep. He loves putting himself in such deep holes.
It's good to see what happens. The thing we find with this finale is it isn't really the finale. The Christmas episode is going to be the big ending,
and it's a good ending as well.
So with
great cameo from somebody.
Yeah, with the Doctor Falls, for me, Moffat doesn't go big, and he doesn't try to go big, so it works in that sense. All they're doing, they're not defending the whole world from ending. They are still on the ship, and they're defending just a village on this ship from being killed, basically. Yeah. And it's really nice, and it's really humbling to see the Doctor kind of in that role, and also trying to convince the Master and Missy to work with him as well is really nice. And we have really nice acting from Bill.
Yeah,
which
Pearl Mackie again.
Pearl Mackie does a brilliant job. She does a brilliant job in this episode, and it's really emotional. And to be honest, I think it wraps it up perfectly. And I can't reveal anything, and I don't want to reveal anything.
The thing is, at the beginning, well enough time where we see that opening where he says, "I don't want to change, we see the change. It is a nice way. The fact when we see all this stuff, I like the fact at the end of it, when I saw the beginning of episode 11, even though I didn't see it, when I saw the beginning of episode 11. I like the fact where we know, okay, he's going to change. And the nice fact is, we know he's going to change. But I do admit, the way episode 12 ended is a classic Stephen Moffat where he puts in a big twist.
He turns it on his head.
Yeah. It's a bit... Did you see Sherlock this year? Do you remember episode 2 when...
Did we review that?
No, we didn't do it, but I'll do one thing.
That was a stinker of a series.
No, that wasn't actually. I love episode 2 when Sherlock's sister appears. That reminds. I'll tell you, this might be slightly giving away, but when Sherlock's sister appears, it's very similar to this ending. But I won't reveal the title of the Christmas special because if you see the Christmas special title, it does give away the plot of the ending. So definitely don't go into. But it's a very good. Very good.
I'm not going to reveal
very
it.
Sets up
but
for
all I'm going to say as a little hint is that for the companions we get some great resolutions. For the Doctor, we have to wait till Christmas.
Yeah. So it's
so that's season 10. I think it is. For me,
what do you rate it above?
For me, it's series 8, but it has far better characters. Quickly, just a quick shout out because Nardole going in, I thought, oh no,
yeah, same
oh
with me.
No, but then watching it, he's actually
he's
a brilliant comic relief, and I think he brings something to the table that neither Bill nor the Doctor do. and they all complement each other brilliantly.
Yeah.
We have moments where it's just Bill and the Doctor and it works. We have moments where it's Nardole and the Doctor. We have moments where it's Bill and Nardole, and all of those work.
I think rating this series, I will try and see end of series 10. I will try to get to him because I do admit I did lost. This was the I kind of finally lost patience with Doctor Who a bit.
I'd give the last few a try.
Yeah, because I think the thing is Doctor Who for me is that because I've been with Doctor Who for nearly 10 years now, because I started watching it when Martha Jones took it in. Because I've seen 10 years of Doctor Who, 10 years of watching it for 10 years religiously. It's obviously because I'm kind of growing older and I kind of feel like it's gonna be hard to see it. So, but that was the most incredibly long, detailed review of Doctor Who.
That was very long, actually, wasn't it? But I'm gonna give it, out of 5, I'd happily give it a 4, I reckon.
Yeah,
a solid
4. Very solid 4.
Yeah.
So very good review, okay, that's nicely for me to over the last couple of episodes.
So, today, Theo's going to review Baby Driver, which I haven't seen yet.
Strangely, because you're the big Greg Wright fan.
I know, I'd love to see it, but I just haven't got around to it. But I'm really looking forward to what you think. So,
you haven't heard my whole route. So, Baby Driver is the new film by Edgar Wright. This is the film that is the one that's kind of the big summer movie film. It's the film I think everyone's was really looking forward to. Going into this series year, I thought, Christ's got a new film out. And I kind of wasn't that excited. When I saw the trailers, I thought, okay, I'm a bit excited now. When I saw the really good reviews, I thought, okay, now I'm very, very excited. I'll tell you about what I saw today, but in order to kind of recap it, it's Edgar Wright is now gone a bit American now. And
his last American film was Scott Pilgrim.
It was
which was a brilliant film, so I had high hopes.
But he's gone back to American again. But the thing is that I'll get back to him right. But anyway, the thing is that the plot of the story basically is we meet this character Baby, and the way he communicates the world is that he's a driver. That's why his character's called Baby Driver, and his name is Baby, ironically. And what he does basically, he drives around LA. But kind of being one of like a getaway driver, a taxi driver. He's somebody he's always there at the right time, at the right place, and he's like the best driver around in terms of being a good getaway driver. And what happens is that the way because he has tinnitus, he drowns out the tinnitus with music, and so as he drives, he plays music in his earbuds to drown out the sound. In order for him to it's kind of like one of those things to kind of zone in and concentrate.
To justify the film soundtrack.
Yeah, it does justify. It just justifies the film soundtrack as well. But more about that later. And then what happens is that he meets this character played by Lily James called Deborah, and he suddenly finds a way of getting out of this job with Deborah. He finds a way of possibly, escaping from this life of just being a getaway driver, doing the same thing again and again, getting money and looking after his deaf, like I think his deaf cousin or uncle or something. It's never specified, but we see him there, and it becomes one of those things. Kind of, he has to get out of the situation in order to kind of get that's where it is. And I went into this. I really like Edgar Wright, and we both like him a lot. I think many people does. I mean, Shaun of the Dead is. I think now it's become one of those British classics that everyone watches now.
Yeah.
It's a great.
Hot Fuzz as well.
Hot Fuzz is really good as well.
The World's End was good. Yes, but maybe not quite the caliber.
Yeah,
of
I haven't seen The World's End, but yeah. And I absolutely love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I think for me, it's Edgar Wright's best film. So going to Baby Driver, seeing the goods, I think is Edgar Wright's best film. And the minute this film started. The minute we see the opening scene for Baby, the minute we see Baby walking down the street, dancing to the Harlem Shuffle, and we see him moving around, and you see the titles appear, and you literally go, okay, this is Edgar Wright, okay, let's relax, I'm going to be good. And for me, the minute this came in, I thought, this is Edgar Wright's, but immediately I literally started beaming my eyes out, and I just laughed a lot, and I really, really enjoyed this opening because it's a classic Wright opening. It harks back to the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World where they start playing the guitars and the camera pulls back and then we see the titles appear. It's very similar to that one, so the titles are like kind of embedded in, and also on the side of the street is the music to the Harlem Shuffle as well. So it's a very great opening as well. And what is great, I think for me, the soundtrack. I mean, it in terms of beating a sound like Guardians of the Galaxy, this is like light years. This is like, it is the creme de la creme, the cherry on top. one of the best handpicked soundtracks.
Better than Suicide Squad.
Oh my goodness me! Whoa. Well, I think nothing would be Suicide Squad. I mean, like, you know, Heathens and what was the other one? Sucker for Pain. No, Imagine Dragons, go away. But the thing is, this is a great pick soundtrack. You have got. There's some really great songs I forgot about that I remember. Easy by the Commodores. I never heard a song in age, and when it came up, I just thought, oh my goodness me! Like it's one of the songs that I just randomly just start singing around the house, just randomly when I hear it.
To me, it seems, just from an outside perspective, it seems sort of like a response to this trend that's going on in Hollywood at the moment.
Well,
since Guardians of the Galaxy, where they have that kind of really nicely picked soundtrack, and then everything sort of moves in time to the soundtrack. You see so many trailers with that style now.
But the thing is, for me...
But Baby Driver is sort of saying, this is how you do it.
But the thing is, one of those films that the soundtrack is so... It's like it's in the DNA of the film. It's not one of things like with Guardians of the Galaxy, if you take it out, it will still be a film. It's one of those things that if you take the soundtrack out, the film won't be what it is. Because the music is so powerful. For example, there's the scene in Tequila where the editing... It's like the editing is so well timed. The editing is just incredible in this film. Like you see, like, was it the guns are firing, like bang, bang. It's like, you know, and then when, you know, you see that as they're driving off, you hear like all these explosions going bang, 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 and then Jamie Foxx just goes Tequila. It's just a really cheesy ending to the end of it, and it's very lovely. There's certain scenes like that. There's scenes like when for example, when you see him revving the car up, it's in time with the music, and it's like. It's one of the things that, as an audience member, you feel really invigorated by it. You want to be in it. You want to enjoy the film. And for me, I really love that about it. I just love the soundtrack, and I just love Edgar Wright's editing. It's great. I also love one of the films. Also the other thing as well is with the car chase as well. I just really love the car chase in this. I think it's like, it reminds me of the Italian Job, and that's my favourite film of all time. The Italian Job is, and saying that is, although when someone starts referring to Italian Job, I'm thinking to myself, oh, now you're going to start really, you know, destroy. But the thing is, it reminds me of the fact that it's like you don't need to have special effects, you don't need to have green screen everything in order to have great car chase. Because in the Italian Job, there were scenes where they run through the Turin sewers, and it's all real. It feels real, and the same as this in Baby Drive, where you see them drive around. The great, you know, trailer shot where the car spins and it just narrowly misses the van. It's just great, really exciting when it feels realistic, and I really love that. And it's not like the Fast and Furious 7 where it's just, you know, just random CGI cars running around smashing in slow motion shots, and you're supposed to go wow, you just go no, and I really liked about it. Also, with an Edgar Wright film, there's something Edgar Wright's film that you're gonna get. For example, you're gonna get the synchronization, like I said. You're gonna get the jokes. You're gonna get jokes about irony. There's jokes about fan culture. There's jokes about Austin Powers. There's jokes about there's jokes about sunglasses. There's a great joke. I won't spoil it for you. There's a great joke about remixing music, which is one of the best jokes in the film, and it gets an absolute massive laugh when you see it, and it comes back again later on. It's really great jokes, and also the comic characters that just have the maddest personality, stuff like you know, Jamie Foxx's character Bat, people like Baby Drive, the baby himself. And the one thing I really love about, I love Deborah and Baby. I just love their characters. I love the relationship between Lily James and Ansel Elgort. I think the chemistry there, it's just wonderful to watch on screen.
How's Kevin Spacey?
Kevin Spacey for me is playing a Frank Underwood basically. He's playing that bossy character. He's pretty tapping into what he does in House of Cards, but but also he taps into the comedy side that we rarely see now in Kevin Spacey. We're back in his old filmmaking, stuff like American Beauty and stuff like The Usual Suspects. He's got a bit of comedy in him, and it's nice to see that he's also a comic actor, which he was before, where he was an impersonator, an impressionist person. However, although there's some great songs from, like I said, the soundtrack and the stuff is just there to see it, and it does elevate the film so much, and the visual effects and the cinematography as well, and Ansel Elgort's for it. It's there to see it. However, I don't think this is Edgar Wright's best film, and I was going into the problem with Baby Driver, because it's like La La Land. You're talking about La La Land. You said it's really good, but it's not quite there. And for me, that I agree with you so much. And for me, it's the structure and some of the acting in this film, which were weaknesses. for me, the problem with the structure, because they established the film, it's a very original structure. You feel like you don't know where the plot's really kind of going in it.
Yeah.
When you if you go because you're going to see this first time, because you don't understand what the structure's going to kind of look like. The structure, the first half an hour is for me is some of Edgar Wright's best stuff he's done. I mean, it beats the Cornetto trilogy by about 50 yards. It absolutely storms over Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's just brilliant from him. However, sadly, what then happens, the film suddenly slows down a bit. And this is for me when, for about 30 minutes, we now spend time with people like Bat, Jamie Foxx, people like John Hamm, which I have to say, John Hamm's not my favourite actor. I cannot stand John Hamm. He's just got that really annoying smile and about it. He's like, hey, I'm John Hamm. Oh yeah. And I always sound cool.
He's
and
very American.
He's very American, but he's like the American dream.
Yeah.
Don Draper. Oh yeah. It's just like it just wants me to vomit over the back of my chair. It's just really annoying, his acting. And Eiza Gonzalez as well, which is just a very shallow woman character, shamefully. And the problem is, what happens then is that we just spend first movie with very not interesting characters. The jokes stop coming, and instead, every time Jamie Foxx makes some dialogue, says a line, you feel like a punchline's going to come. You feel like he's going to make a joke because he speaks that voice, that very sketchy voice. It's like this and this and this and this and this, and then he says a line, and then the joke doesn't come. And it's like that for a long time, and all of a sudden, I felt the audience energy starting to seep away. And although the soundtrack,
whereabouts is this in the film? Is this towards the end?
No, this is half an hour. This is the middle. This is the middle section, which is a problem. And it starts to grind to a halt, and instead of spending time for me with Deborah and Baby's relationship, which for me was the real beating heart of this film, because it's a very similar plot to like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, in that the plot of that is basically about, you know, in order to find a relationship with a woman, in order to find basically a boy who wants to get with a girl, in order to get into that relationship, they have to do a task, like, you know, maybe beat 7 boys, in order to get out of his previous life and basically get on. It's very similar to Scott Pilgrim vs. the World in that sense. But the problem is, so I was spending time with that, I just have to John Hamm, so like fine and funny, and Jamie Foxx and all these characters bickering and just making very weird. And there's one joke in there which came on, and I generally felt like no. And I thought there's this really weird joke where he goes, where they see Deborah in a bar, and they're in a bar, and Deborah says, "What are you looking at?" And he says, "I can look wherever I want." And you know what happens? The camera looks at Lily James's ass, and the camera follows it, and I just go, oh my god, no!
It's a bit old-fashioned.
Yeah, it's old-fashioned. It's like Michael Bay, and it's just one of those things where in back in the old day, maybe people were going to go ha ha ha, but literally it was just dead silence.
Really, yeah,
absolutely dead. No,
awkward.
Really awkward. It was just like no, and the moments where there seems to be a joke appears, and they make pauses in order to have the audience laugh and and those pauses happen, and it's just very awkward pauses.
I prefer when films don't do that.
Yeah, and it does happen.
It's just like safeguarding if the joke doesn't land.
And also there's a very necessary trade do again. And then what happens then, the film then starts, in the third act, it then gets back onto it, and we get another car chase, and then the thing ends, and it's got a very classic Bonnie and Clyde ending. Yeah. And the film ends very nicely, and it's a very nice dream ending, which I really like, and I like the fact the ending's very good, because it's a bit like Scott Pilgrim vs. World. It's a very kind of dreamy, kind of very fairy tale ending to it. Yeah. And it's nice to see that again, because Edgar Wright is very good with this stuff. I don't think it's the best film, and I think because of that, I don't think it's a 5-star film. I think because of that middle third, the film really it's one of the things that the film just really kind of like it's like someone just pushes a weight on it, and I don't think it works fully. Yeah. It's a real shame because Edgar Wright is somebody, because I really like this film. There's some moments where I loved. There are bits in it which I really enjoyed. I remember speaking to somebody, and this guy absolutely hated things. Oh, it's just Hollywood claptrap, and it's not. It is. You can feel Edgar Wright's stuff in it. Yeah. But I think there are stuff like the jokes, and there's moments like that which just real saying points in Edgar Wright's filmmaking that's not there, and I think it lacks. Yeah. I think it lacks that. So overall, I'm gonna give it, because I think it's really good, but because I think like it's not quite there. I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5. I think it is some of his best stuff in it, but it's not his best film. But it's definitely one to remember, and I definitely think anyone really go and see it. It's a really, Caleb, you might think differently about it. But I definitely love this. I really do like this film.
If I see it, I'd be happy to follow up on.
Because it is a very enjoyable film. There is so much stuff to enjoy about it. But yeah, then that is the review for Baby Driver.
So finally, we're just going to do a sort of summer roundup. Well, Theo's going to do it because he's seen the most films.
Yes, what a surprise!
But
well, it's like, the cinema must be making more money from me rather than anyone else, to be honest. So yeah,
supporting the industry,
supporting the film industry. Screw piracy.
And then we're just going to do some recommendations after.
So the summer roundup this year. So the summer roundup, I have to say, overall the summer season, I think I might agree with this. It's not been the best summer season. It's been one of those meh. There's been a lot.
I feel like summer seasons are never as good for films, and then they have a few standout ones.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
So say with like Baby Driver, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman.
Spider-Man 2. There's some really good standout stuff. But there's some which are a bit catch up. And the film for me, we started with Logan, which we started with, and then we had Kong Skull Island, which I did see, but I'm not going to go into that. However, the film for me that really kicked off this period was Beauty and the Beast. Now, Beauty and the Beast was the one I was really looking forward to, and I'm just going to fact check this just to make sure, because this is a fact that I think I almost want to wipe away from my memory, to be honest, a bit, because I do feel this is a very strange. But in relation to Beauty and the Beast, it's now the 10th highest grossing film of all time.
So that's the remake.
That is the remake. It's now the 10th highest grossing film of all time.
What's it below?
It's below Frozen by just 13 million.
That honestly takes me by surprise.
Because I tell you why this has got the best highest grossing of all time. There are 3 target audiences it's captured in. One, the young Disney Kids fans.
Yeah.
Second, the Emma Watson fans, which is me. The Harry Potter fans, Emma Watson, me. I'm a huge fan of Emma Watson. I think, although she's in Harry Potter, she's great in that. Her post stuff, though, for me, is where she really excels as an actress. For example, Perks Being a Wallflower, one of the best teen films of the last few years. The Bling Ring, which is a great satire film, and she raps into it, and then she did Regression, she did The Colony, which she weren't good at, and then she did Circle, which I'll talk about later. And the thing with Emma Watson, she's somebody that I think, because she's in Harry Potter, she has that ability to wrap herself into a role and really take you on as a person. You recognise that, and immediately kind of feel for her character straight away because of her role of Hermione Granger and other roles as well. I think that's the thing. Why Emma Watson. That's why I think it's 10th greatest film of all time, because of that sell by Emma Watson. And the third one as well is the remake, because it's Beauty and the Beast, 1992. People want to go see it because they want to,
it's nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Yeah. However, I came to this film really wanted to like it. I was really excited for this film because, like I said, huge fan of Emma Watson. Really excited. I came out of this, and it's the same Alien Covenant. Nah, it's okay. It's not great. It's okay. I remember I saw this with a teacher on the same screen as I was, and I asked her the next day at school, and she absolutely loved the film, and I was a bit, really? Because I just do it at the end of the screening when we saw it when Beauty and the Beast, the screen, because I think the audience actually loved this. This was a big crowd of places. The audience almost for the first time before, I think since Harry Potter Part 2 in the screen I've been in, there was a round of applause for the end of the film. Everyone gave a massive round of applause,
and not been there since Part 2.
I know, and I wanted to clap. I had to clap, because if I didn't clap, someone would have almost whacked me over the head with a bell action figure or something. So yeah, I had to give a round of applause, but even though it was a very shallow one, let's say. For me, Being the Beast, the problem is, I think maybe you understand is I love the 1991 adaptation animation. I think everyone loves it. I think, however, there is a problem with Emma Watson's performance, and we need to have a chat of Emma Watson's performance here. The problem with her performance is that there's something in it. There is an acting role in there.
Yeah.
But because the audience, the studio, have seemed to tug, rip it apart, then sew it back together as fast as it just becomes a performance that feels a bit very strange. And it's the singing. What have the studio done with her voice? And what they've done basically, when you hear the original, for example, Belle, I might actually tell you this. I might show you this later, Kate. After this for podcast. When you compare it to the original, and you hear her, and you hear the original, I forgot her name, but you hear her voice, you feel it's real. you feel there's no auto-tune. In this, the minute she starts singing, it's like it's like a robot has seems taken over her voice. It's literally like this, and it literally like I literally almost feel like Drake will turn up halfway through and just start playing controller.
I was just imagining like a full-on auto-tune voice.
No, it is. It's literally like there's a moment where he goes. It's literally there's one moment where she does that, and I literally just sit there. Going. No, and her voice, it just doesn't. And you can see that she's been dubbed dreadfully, and it's just a bit. And every time she opens her mouth to sing, it's like stop. It's like I want to literally almost ignite some vomit in my mouth. It's just it's terrible. And I know, and there are some moments where it's like she runs up a hill. And it's like she's literally going to scream, "The hills are alive," with the sound of me. It's just like, oh my word. It's just like, I start reminding me of all the better films. And so there is a problem with her voice. Her voice is dreadful. And there is a performance in there, but because the studios seem to completely out of whack it apart, there's this performance that just looks like somebody has seemed to it looks like it seems to have somebody just thought, oh my god, here we go, we can do this, and then Austin, I know your voice is great, but we can dub it this, we can do this, and I mean, even she must think, oh, what have they done to my voice? So yeah. Also, I think one of the things, well, the movie, this is my, and I do have problems with running times, but I have a massive problem with running times for this movie as well. The cartoon was 1 hour and 24 minutes long.
Yeah.
This movie is 2 hours long. If you're going to put in 40 extra minutes, it better be bloody good.
What is it?
No. It's basically the moment where Belle sits down and spits out an necessary plot exposition. There's a random song with Belle's dad now, which just really seems to be know that. There are interesting moments where there seems to be a great hint for past, and we may see the prince's childhood past, and then it just disappears again. It's just like, no, bring me back that potential story there. And then there are other moments where. And also other weird moments where it's just there's some random song just turns up and then it just doesn't work overall. However, and it's just really disappointing. There are some redeeming features in this film. Dan's theme's great as the Beast. I think the song Evermore, which is a great Andrew Lloyd Webber musical number, it's one of those big belt out ones where he's not been auto-tuned, strangely enough, and it's just one of those ones where, although it's a new added-on song, it's just really great to listen to. The Gaston sequence, the Gaston song is a great song as usual.
It seems like just in regards to that extra 40 minutes, sorry, I think it seems like, because a lot of people were saying it seems like they've remade it shot for shot, and why would I go and watch that? So then they've added that extra 40 minutes, those extra few songs to make it seem like a new take.
But I think I didn't have a problem with being shot for shot. I just thought some of the dialogue and some of the acting was a bit shallow and a bit dull. As the first half an hour was really boring. It takes about half an hour, 45 minutes to get to the castle.
Yeah. And
when we get in there, it's like, okay, now the film starts to really kind of get onto it. The gas sequence again is great. That's really good fun, and the narrative works. I mean, I did shed a tear at the end. You know, it's one of those stories where you cannot destroy the story. It's got a very good heart. You know, beauty's on the inside. Never does with bites cover. It's got great morale tale to it, but it's not their best find out. It's not the Jungle Book. It's not Cinderella. It's not Maleficent, which was really good. That really surprised me. I reviewed that here. That was really good, but it's not. It's just meh. So moving on from that one, we had Alien Covenant, we said, and we had Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Man Tell No Tales.
To be honest, I wasn't even interested.
Oh my god! I saw this movie. I'm going to be so quick with this.
Yeah.
It's just it's bad, but not bad as the previous one. It's one of those movies where I sat down, and the minute the thing started, actually when it started, I thought actually it might be quite good. I thought the first half of that was really great, and then we get back onto the high seas, basically sailing to nowhere, walking around an island, nowhere for about half an hour. Javier Bardem's pantomime voice it's always the best thing in the film. He's playing a pantomime. It's like instead of saying Sparrow, he's going Sparrow. It's just like this. It's like listening. And then Brendan Fraser and Kaya Scodelario. My God, I mean, if you think Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. I'm sorry, there's a film critic who makes Orlando Bloom and my Keira Knightley. I fight very hard to not make those jokes, but Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. If you think they're wooden, you have not seen Brendan Fraser and Kaya Scodelario. I mean, it's like looking at a very nice bit of IKEA furniture that I purchased for in 2 years' time for my university room. It is really. It's just like it's. I mean, even they would feel, my God, I look like a plank here, and they really are a plank. And then Johnny Depp is doing the same performance, but he's not doing Keith Richards this time around. He's actually doing a drunk Keith Richards, so that makes him a bit more interesting. But it's just like, you know, it's like, to be honest, mate, I had enough of this. It's like he's picked up the $30 million check. It's gone, mate, see you later. And so, and then also it's too long, and it's one of those things where the franchise has really set its course.
Is it better or worse than the fourth
it's
one?
Meh. It's better than the... Oh, actually, I don't know. It's meh. It's just so meh. I really can't say.
Yeah.
However, we had the redeeming Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman came up, and my God, that we needed this film. Yeah. We needed this film. This was, although DC, I know I hated Suicide Squad. I absolutely hate that film.
I mean, that's why I didn't watch Wonder Woman. Then I heard it was good, and I was surprised.
Wonder Woman is just really good fun. This was brilliantly good fun. I saw this in 3D. I saw parts of it in 3D. I didn't want to see them, but I had to see them in 3D because that was the only time. And the 3 does nothing. But the fact is, it's a really great, solid film. Patty Jenkins knows the character well. Gal Gadot is great. She's never sexualized as like Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider, which was like, oh dear, we wipe that from memory. Storytelling pace is great, although I think it's maybe a bit too slow at the start. Yeah. Pardon me. It picks up nice and quickly, and it gets on with it very well. Chris Pine and Gal Gadot, I think they've got great chemistry. And there's only one scene where they actually kiss. So there's not a lot. It's no lot like, you know, oh, I'm going to sweep you up and
big
we're going to romance. There's none of that. There's absolutely none of that at all. It's just because they say in World War II, it feels like it's one of these where it's back to ground, and it feels like one of those things. Okay, we're going to restart again. There are a couple moments where I feel Zack Snyder's influence as a producer can be noticed. So there's some real necessary slow motion shots. There's some very over the top music. The music in this film is dreadful. I mean, it's not. I mean, Rupert Gregson-Williams, although he's great, he does music for The Crown. This is just one of the movies where it's just da 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 da, and then just some loud, you know, some strings just going da 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 da. It's just like, you know, it's just very generic, and
overnight.
And it's very overnight. And it's one of the things I think if Snyder can't trust the directors to do like the job in the films, it might be a problem in later sequels. So I did really love Wonder Woman. That's a very vast, but it's a very solid introduction, and I think it's one of the highlights of the year, definitely Wonder Woman. And then last but not least, we had The Mummy, worst film of the year so far. I mean, I haven't seen Transformers yet, but I think this cannot be worse. The trailers look very good.
Aren't they trying to sort of start a universe?
Yeah, the thing is, what they do, the way it's they do these. You see the Universe logo, and then they do it in reverse. So in the reverse way, the Dark Universe things appears, and it's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be, you know, really new, but it's just no. Thank you very much. So, but the thing is, this movie was just boring from beginning to end. From shoddy exposition from the start, from a very boring plot, and from very generic action sequences. People say, you know, the movie is praised should be praised on a technical level and a high quality visual effects and the action. They're very good. But I mean, because I was involved in the characters, they were just really dull to look at. And Tom Cruise, just in classic Tom Cruise, he runs towards basically nowhere. Some really poor jokes he has. Annabelle Wallis looks like she's just going to drop her trousers at any moment because she's turned up from a Vogue photo shoot and she has lovely suntan, nicely straightened hair. She looks like she's had really great makeup on. But because they're acting so wooden, it's literally the movie will turn to porn at any moment. I'm not joking. It literally will. It feels like that. Russell Crowe thinks playing a British accent, thinks that he's because he's playing two sides of the same coin with the Jekyll and Hyde thing. I'm sorry, spoiling that film. Yeah. Instead, he has to play two sides of the same coin of the British accent. And Dr. Jekyll is a well-spoken, very mature man, very speaking a bit to Oxford University. Edward Hyde is a cockney geezer, mate. He's a mix of Danny Giles, James Davis. Oh, I'm gonna blow your head off, mate. I'm gonna beat you up, Tom Cruise. Oh, let's go. It's one of those things. And lastly, Sophia Boutella, and lastly, The Mummy. Sophia Boutella thinks that playing a sausage seductress, and not The Mummy. She's playing a saucy seductress, But and in order to mutate humans, he used the power of snogging.
Oh god!
This
movie sounds so generic. Just from
these
characters sound like they've been ripped straight out of a film from the 2000s.
Oh no! I mean, it's on. I mean, there's a moment where you think Tommy Capper would turn and go, "You're tearing me apart!" It was so bad, worst movie of the year so far. And oh god, that's a summer roundup. It's been such a meh year. The Mummy is the worst movie of the year. I cannot think any movie can beat that. I genuinely think no movie could beat that. I mean, Fast and Furious 7, although I haven't seen it, that was even more enjoyable than the sheer claptrap, mind-bendingly dull plot of The Mummy. It is just rubbish. Worst movie of the year. Thank you very much.
Let's move on to some better films and TV shows with our recommendations.
Yeah, you start first, I'll do mine last.
So yeah, just some things to look out for this week. Just TV shows. I've just been thinking of them as I've gone along. I'm going to start with Master of None.
Season 2.
Season 2, in fact, because I actually reviewed Season 1, and I said it was very good. It was a very good character study. What we get in Season 2 is just building upon that. Better plots.
Different locations.
Great soundtrack. Well, not... Actually, yes. Yeah, you're right. Different locations. And introductions of new characters. Introductions of new concepts. Really great. Really... Also really emotional. I'd love for you to see it. Recommend it. The other one, this is going to sound a bit weird. It's adapted from a book by Chris Kraus. It's highly lauded as a great sort of feminist novel. It's brilliant. I've read it myself. It's called I Love Dick, which is an interesting title. Dick, not the genitalia that you're thinking of. In
not
fact,
literally.
is actually.
I love Dick. Wait, what?
Is that? I assume it must be quite a provocative title in that sense, but also it's referring to a man, sort of almost a cowboy type character called Dick. And I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I'm not going to go greatly into detail about the plot. You can work that out for yourself. Look it up. But I Love Dick is just it's from the creator of Transparent, Jill Soloway directing.
That's good.
Chris Kraus, I've read the book, it's a really good book. I've watched the first 2 episodes and so far pretty gripped by it. Not enough to come back to it every week, but if you like Transparent, I think you'll like it. If you like the book, you'll like it.
Yeah.
And then finally, earlier on we were talking a bit about Phoebe Waller-Bridge, sort of off camera. Off microphone, yeah. Because we were thinking about her being maybe the next Doctor Who companion, hopefully. But I mentioned Fleabag because I think it really does subvert your view of what it's going to be like. Because advertised, we get this very sort of raunchy, rude... You know, it sounds a bit cheesy when I say it like that, but it seems like a kind of rude comedy. It's quite shallow. That's what the trailers say.
However.
But then when you watch it, although the comedy isn't really for me, I'm not that into like sex jokes upon sex jokes. It does get a bit in betweeners. Apologies for the car going off in the background, but we'll continue. With Fleabag, it does sort of get deeper and it gets more... Everything just becomes more justified as it goes on. And by the end, you get just a brilliant ending. It really hits you hard, I think, with the ending. I'm not going to reveal anything. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is just a brilliant actor. She starts out as a comedy actor and it becomes a drama as it goes on, and it's a brilliant drama. Yeah.
So now my recommendations. I've got TV and I've got film. So let's start with TV first. We're going to start with... I kind of put these in like my favourite TV shows so far. So number 3, I want to recommend a show. This show is going on at the moment. And I think this show, this is one I think everyone's really talking about. It's The Handmaid's Tale.
Ah, yes.
This is really good. This is something I think many people, if you love dystopian thrillers, if you love Children of Men, if you love 1984,
if you love Margaret Atwood,
if you love the book, you are really going to love this. You really like this TV show. You're going to really love it. And I think many people understand the plot. Basically, it's one of those plots where a Christian group basically take over America. They rewrite the history of the American Constitution, and it becomes this very much a totalitarian state. And it kind of spins the Christianity as well a bit. and it's a really creepy setting, very cinematic looking, very dark. Really dark subject matter we're looking at here. This is not something it's not a very family friendly Doctor Who kids running thing. This is something where basically women are basically treated as basically as, I don't want to say it because it's really nasty stuff there is. And because the idea that basically she becomes a handmaid, and handmaids basically just have to basically become sex machines, basically just reproduce consistently. It's a horrible concept to think about, but it's a depiction of
a very sort of sexist society.
But a very dark society as well. And but I think it's one of Elizabeth Moss' performance. She's so good in it. It's like it's all about. I think when people say about when people talk about Mark Ryan's performance in Bridge of Spies, it's all about the face. It's all about the face. For me, it's just someone going, well, I was in Wheels about a couple of years. It's like, no, it's like that's not something but depressed. But this is like brilliant acting. This is like it's in the eyes, it's in the face. It's just great, like bit of silent acting it is. And she's so good in this. I really like this show, and I definitely think it's really good. And number 2, this was a show that premiered in April, and it finished in April, started about March. It was a mini series. They're planning to make a series 2. I hope they don't. This is Big Little Lies. This was the adaptation of the book, and it stars Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, Shailene Woodley, Zoe Kravitz, Alexander Skarsgård. It's like one of the things where it's literally like the names are just do the math basically. Yeah. And it's one of the shows where I think by getting all these young female actors and telling the story, it's a really great story. It's like the idea that basically you see a murder at the start, but it's about the fractures, it's about the lies, about the big ones, it's about the little ones, like it says in the title. It's about the relationships. There's some really. I think Shailene Woodley puts her career best performance in this. Reese Witherspoon, after having such on and off, she started with Walk the Line, then she did 4 Christmases, and This Means War, and she did Wild Reese as well. She is really great in this as this mother who's kind of a bit like reminds me of What's in the Bling Ring environmentally. It's a bit one of those mothers where it's like she wants to be controlled. She wants to be everything. She's a bit sassy everywhere. It's like, no, I don't want about this. I know, come on, you got to do this and that. And she's very rich, and she has it kind of. She feels a bit, like, oh, everything's perfect. I care about my family a lot. I love the fact in that character as well. And I love it as well. Also, I think Nicole Kidman's great as well. She's having a really great year, Nicole Kidman. I mean, after being Grace of Monaco, which the less said about that, the better, again. But the fact is, she's in the Beguiled this year. She's going to star on Top of Lake Chinatown, China Girl, I think, was coming out very soon. And she's now in this. And also, she was in Lion at the start of the year. She's somebody who really is kind of starting to gain a good momentum, possibly for a good nomination here. She's really great in this. She plays this kind of his wife who's been very abused horribly. There's some very horrible depictions of abuse in this show. I think the male characters are represented very poorly. I think it is very bit men like sex. It's got kind of that vibe to it. I don't like that at all. But I think the women are the heart of this thing. I think it's a really great show. If you like Mystery Village, you're gonna like this a lot. If you like Shane, if you like the actresses, you're gonna like this a lot. I really recommend it. However, for me, the best TV show of the year so far, I'm not going to talk about this a lot because it's a very hard thing to talk about. Yeah, it's Free Girls for me. I think you might have heard about it.
I don't think I have actually.
It's the depiction of the Rochdale sex group. Although my 3 things have something to do with sex for some reason, I don't know. But this one here really is incredibly powerful. It's one of those things where I think Nicole. I think I want to get her name right because I think she does deserve so much praise from what she.
What is this a TV series?
This was a TV series, and
what channel was it on?
It was on BBC One this week. This was Nicole Taylor wrote this.
Yes.
I think what Taylor does here, she exposes something I think is very harsh on camera, and it's basically it's about the Rochdale child sex abuse ring, and it follows 3 girls. I want to get the title. And you follow these 3 characters, and you watch it, and you just feel really horrible by it. I was really knocked out by this. I thought this was just so powerful. I mean, I've not seen something on TV like this for a long time. I managed to watch it just for it on a 5 player, and I'm so glad I did. I mean, I think So I think there's one of the things. I think there's one of those times where I think you have to watch a film, but like Moonlight, there's one of the things you have to rewatch this because I think it's one of those things that it's hard. It's a very hard watch. It's not something I think you can turn on about. Sorry, Ben watched 3 Girls. Yeah, no, it's something I think you really have to kind of go in, know a bit about the story, but at the same time enjoy. It's not. I don't feel enjoy. I think episode 1's the hardest. Episode 2 is the continuous. Episode 3 is kind of the satisfying conclusion to the trilogy, and they were played over 3 nights as well. Really, it's a really, really great TV show, and it's definitely up there with something there. I definitely recommend it a lot of those ones. In terms of films, I want to recommend 3 films. I'm going to start with film I think people absolutely hated this year. I mean, generally, and this is The Circle. This is the Tom Hanks and Watson film that came out on Netflix. This is Netflix. Yes, welcome back to Netflix promotion again. So
sponsored by Netflix.
Sponsored by Netflix. No, we aren't sponsored by Netflix. I wish. So The Circle is this show. It's adapted from a Dave Eggers book, and The Circle is this tale about this character May, and she gets drawn into society, covers crossing Facebook and Google, and she's just this great. And basically she goes up the ladder and it's kind of how the influence, and it's got a lot of very simple ideas about it raised questions on social security and privacy. I think this film has been battered a lot, and I think because of that, and I think it's been very poorly marketed as well, because I think if you have Tom Hanks and Watson film, surely this film should get an audience in it, and sadly this wouldn't play in the UK, so it's got dumped onto Netflix, sadly. And I think this is a very cinematic film. I like this film. I don't think I think I give it around 3 stars. I don't think this is James Bond's best film, but I think this is a really solid, a very good pulpy techno thriller. And I like the fact, I think, like Emma Watson, I think I think she kind of redeems herself after Beauty and the Beast in this, and I think she's got, because I think the enthusiasm and the passion she has for the project, it makes her character believable. Tom Hanks plays a stereotypical power-hungry billionaire. It's the classic stereotypical billionaire. Great charisma. She's fantastic. He's fantastic in this, and he always brings that as usual. Danny Elfman's Simp score. I think Danny Elfman's Simp score does not get a lot of praise for this, and I think because it reminds me of a lot of Ben Salisbury and Jeff Barrow's work in Ex Machina. Danny Elfman's score. I think it's a great, really good synth. It's very bubbly away in the background, and I like the fact the strings add later on a little bit of menace. It's a very good bit of work, and also Matthew Liberty's cinematography is very great as well. You can say yes, the structure's dull at the beginning, and the 50 minutes is not that great, and John Bray's character's a bit pointless as well. But the fact is, because you go along with the film, because I kept going with it, because I love certain scenes in it, such as I loved there's this great scene about this idea called Soul Search, and it's a very creepy idea, and it's one of those things where you feel like there's a great bit of tension in it, and all the way through you really enjoy it. The other thing, because I don't think I have time now, I'll do one more film to review, and I think for me the best film of the year so far, The Leveling. Hope Dixon Leach's drama starring who is it? Oh God, this is really weird because I wanted starring Ellie Kendrick. Sorry. Yeah. This is a film about this farm girl who goes back to this family, and she kind of evokes this instant where her brother died the previous part of her party, and it reminds me a lot of some really great drama films, and it reminds me of Kes, that kind of idea about the acting as well. What I loved about this film is just the cinematography.
Was this another Netflix? Or
no, this is not. This is not a Netflix film. This is a film you have to go and see in the cinema.
Oh, it's in the cinema.
And also, it's out on DVD now. I don't think it's on there, but it had a very short release. The film basically, it's one of those films that has divided critics, but in terms of performances, this Ellie Kendrick, who's in Game of Thrones, who starred as Mira Reed, and she's back in season 7, which is coming out very soon. She puts in a performance that really makes you feel, goodness me, why is she getting nominated for this stuff? And it's so subtle, it's so nuanced, it's just so perfect, and it's one where she says lines where you go, can you say one thing? Could you could you bring back my brother and kill my dad? There's great lines such as that. There's a great line when David Bradley says get out after he starts basically abusing him from his brother, and because he's it. And David Troughton's in this film, who was in Midnight, Doctor episode. He is, and he's in the arts and stuff, but he plays this kind of he plays as kind of a very deluded father, and you realise the relationship happens when, and this is the beating heart of this relationship, and you realise, because instead of Ellie Kendrick because of her name's Clover in the film, instead of calling Clover his dad, instead of calling him dad, he calls him Aubrey. So you know from the start there's a very big thing. The cinematography by Daniel Segal is just brilliant. It's great subtle cinematography, very classic indie stuff, but really just very powerful looking. There's a great shot where where she followed where there's an apple tree, and Clover walks towards it, and the camera just stays where it is. It's like looking at a photographer studying a specimen. It's just very interesting in cinematography. The joint and the sound design's great. I think there's a film critic out there who was talking about Ben Bear's sound design. It's good sound design. The music by Hutch Demulapede is just complements the English countryside. It's trees rustling, animals squealing. The string quartet's got this lovely thing. There is a great scene where they bring this choir, and it just builds and builds and builds, and it's very this very haunting film. It's very haunting. It's very atmospheric, very much Antichrist. And it's one of those sequels where you realise, if I get more of these, this will be a great year for film. It's one of those movies that you realise just how good indie film is, and it's a real hidden gem. I mean, Dixon.
I didn't even hear of it before.
This is her feature debut, and if she keeps making more like this, I mean, please make more films. It's 1 hour 23 minutes, a good short film, great example of good running time. I mean, really good. There's so much love about this film, and I think this will definitely up here when it comes to my list at the end of the year, when we talk at the end when we do our Duck and Year special of the year. This is definitely one of the best films of the year. Really go and see it levelly. Really basically buy it. Really watch it. It's really good, and very powerful.
So that brings us to the end of our recommendations, and also to the end of our very extended Fortnight in Film episode.
Because we haven't been here for ages. So
so you've got a nice, probably approaching 2-hour episode at this point, maybe. But we hope you enjoyed it. We apologise that is such a long wait between the last episode and this episode. We'll try and shorten the gap next time.
Yes, try.
We either will be back at the end of the summer, or maybe just a little bit after that.
Yeah, I mean, but if we're not back then, we'll be back at Christmas, when we'll be talking about Blade Runner, and we're talking about Star Wars. But hopefully when we come back, we'll be talking about Valerian. I should have seen Spider-Man. I should have seen War of the Planet Gates by then.
Yeah, we've got plenty of good films coming up.
Plenty of good films coming up, and really look out.
I'm interested to see Jumanji. That looks
oh
interesting.
My word! Oh yes. And on that note.
All right. Thank you for
listening.
listening, and goodbye.